You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.
Something's coming.
Stand by. Hold on to your hats, here we go.
Welcome to the Screamcast, episode 156. I am Sean DeRager, and with me is Stephanie Crawford.
Hello.
Joining us from Florida, Brad Hollywood Henderson has arrived. Brad, good evening.
Were you gonna say good morrow? Good morrow?
Good morning, good sir.
Tomorrow.
Hi. It's been a while since I've been on the show with Stephanie, so it's pretty exciting.
I know. We want to thank all of you guys for listening to our last episode, which was a couple's interviews, which was pretty awesome. We're going to try to be getting a lot more interviews this year. Those are a bit harder to do, especially with a handful of guests or a few of us to try to line everything up. But I think it's going to be, I think I got an action plan, and I'm just going to start collecting interviews. And if one is ready, I'll put it into the episode. And if we gather a couple and we haven't put an episode out, I'll just combine them together into an episode and we'll just kind of have fun with it. So, but I like doing the interviews, and I think we'll be trying to do a lot more. So if there's anyone out there that you guys think that we can would actually slum it and show up on the Screamcast, and if it's someone you'd love to hear an interview with, drop us a line. Connect us. I'm not talking to you, Brad. I'm talking to our listeners.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Our dear, glorious listeners. But the same thing goes with for you, Stephanie, and for you, Brad, of course. That goes without saying, though.
Okay, cool.
All right. Today, we have a fun show lined up today. We are talking about the film from 1986 starring Elizabeth Shue and Terrence Stamp. It is called Link. Then we'll move into a movie that's right now on Shudder, and Brad has mentioned it before. It is called Mon 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 Monsters. And then we'll close out the show, we'll close out the evening with a reading from The Gate 2 out on Scream Factory. But first, everyone, let's jump into what's on our doorstep.
Oh, shit.
Holy cow, I almost forgot.
We'll get the door. Pizza.
All right, let's Stephanie
All right.
go first.
Oh, come on. Okay. Let's see what I've seen. Okay. I finally got around to it. I'm a little embarrassed that's taken me so long, but I finally saw Amsterdam.
Oh, yes.
How dare you take so long? I haven't watched it either yet.
Yeah, I remember like months ago, you're like, oh, we're doing a Dick Moss episode. Everybody spend a lot of money on those Blu-rays. We're going to do that episode.
The interview didn't line up, so it kind of fell by the wayside.
Well, I finally got to it. Hamilton Books had it for sale, so I finally grabbed
Nice.
it. And it's amazing.
It's so good. It's ridiculous.
Freaking good. There's that brutal scene right after the opening scene with the corpse on the canal, and I was sitting there screaming like a lunatic.
Is that a band name yet? Corpse on Canal.
It is now.
It's gonna
Copyright.
be.
Trademark. Don't try it. It's so out there, and being in Amsterdam gives it such a unique flavor. And it's kind of unique and quirky all on its own, but the location mixed with these great characters. You have like a hard-boiled detective with like a sassy teenage daughter, a sick killer like haunting the canals. Oh, it's so great. And then it ended. And then this woman starts singing a pop song about people getting killed.
I know, it has an Amsterdam song. How great is that?
It's so great. And they have the music video for it, which is directed by Dick.
No way.
Yes. Yeah. And it's incredible, and it's really gory. And
did
I think
talk about it on the show, or did we just talk about the Dick Moss episode?
But a little bit of both. I think you may have mentioned it. Yeah.
Okay,
we've talked about it. I just haven't fucking watched them.
The boat chase in Amsterdam is the most ballsy piece of cinematic movie making ever. Like, that is the scariest shit, is when they are flying on the boats in the water in those canals. Like, whoever the stunt guys were for that were stupid. Like, there's no way any logical person, very talented, but also very dumb,
earning their paycheck.
Jesus, like that gives me anxiety.
That's such a great recommendation for it, though. It's gorgeous. Actually, it's just filmed beautifully. It's like a high quality kind of action detective movie, but at the same time, there's so much gore in it. There are some close-ups in there that this is brutal than a large percentage of horror movies I've been watching recently. And I think the pop singer's name of the Amsterdam song is Lois Lane, which, I don't know, makes me like it even more. But there's like an umlaut in Lois Lane somewhere or something. But what should I watch next from him, Brad?
I would. Have you seen Saint?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, watch Saint. It's his Christmas Santa Claus killer movie.
Oh.
Okay, but I'm not going to watch that till December. So is there anything?
Lift is okay. Like, it's fine. The German one is a little bit better. He has this movie called it's actually like a trilogy. It's called Flodder, and if you can find that, that might be the way to go. It's like from the 80s, and it's a comedy, and it's really, really fucking funny. And they made like 3 of them. I know. I think a certain company is trying to pick them up for America, but I think there's just some, licensing issues. He had a movie with Jennifer Tilly. It's in the 90s, I think, or maybe even early 2000s. I can't think of the name of it, and it was really fun. I'll just look him up. It's something with Jennifer Tilly in it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really good. It's a mystery
Do Not
movie.
Disturb?
Yes.
Yeah, with William Hurt. Okay.
Yeah, with William Hurt, and he plays some executive or something. Like, all Dick Moss movies take place like in fucking Amsterdam, and he's like on this business of like these Americans in this
like Secret
taking a
Agent
business
Super
trip.
Dragon. Right.
He goes to like to Amsterdam to with his wife and his kid and stuff like that, and there's some crazy shit that happens. I don't want to give too much away, but it's pretty good. Jennifer Tilly is really great in it.
Did I kind of start out with his strongest one? It sounds like a little bit.
Well, he doesn't really have a big catalog. He has Do Not Disturb. He has, Saint and Amsterdam, Down and Lift, which are, his American remake of his own movie. And yeah, like I said, the Flodder movies. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
All right, Stephanie, what else have you been watching?
I had a little bit of a random choice. I saw 2006's The Grave Dancers from Mike Mendez.
God, I love that movie so much. It's such a guilty pleasure because it's so stupid, but it's so good.
That's exactly how it was. Because, yeah, it's very like It is very stupid. Like, oh, our friend died. Let's get drunk in the graveyard. Hey, who wrote this? We'll never find out. But let's read it out loud and dance on the graves. And that's how the plot starts. And if you sit there and think about for half a second, like step out of your horror movie brain, because I kind of have a horror movie brain where I'm like, I will accept any plot you give me. But I actually stepped outside of it. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like we're all adults here. And I don't know, just reading a random card out and then literally dancing on graves is, should we go that way? Oh, let's go that way. But it was a lot of fun. I like
It's a blast.
I like Mike Mendez a lot, and
He's such
Megan.
a fun filmmaker.
Yeah, he is. Like he did The Convent with Megan Perry, and she was in this too.
Yeah.
And
That's
she was
another
also
movie
on
that's
Buffy.
fucking classic.
Yeah, and she was on Buffy, and so is Claire Kramer. So it was a little bit of a Buffy reunion, which I appreciated. But yeah, these friends get together and they raise up all kinds of madness, kind of a ghost story. I really like the design of the, reanimated creatures. They kind of reminded me of the flying
three spirits and stuff.
Yeah, the flying deadite from Army of Darkness. I know you guys love those movies.
I'm a huge fan of Army of Darkness. It's the best Evil Dead movie ever made.
Okay. But yeah, it had Dominic Purcell, who's everyone's favorite Dracula from Blade Trinity. And he was actually really effective in this. And I liked seeing Josie Moran, who was a big model, but now she's like a multi-billionaire skincare guru. And now you can like buy all of her stuff in Sephora. So I'm just like watching these terrible things happen to her. I'm like, man, her skin still looks so good. And I have her argan oil in my bathroom. So I know that shit works. So that was, I don't know. I guess my mind wandered a lot during it, but it's absolutely right. It's a lot of fun. It would be fun with a group of friends, I think.
Yeah, I screened it for one of the marathons and it went over really, really well.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So yeah, that I was happy I just randomly clicked on that. I didn't even know it was Mike Mendez when I originally clicked on it. So I do recommend that one if you can surrender to your horror plot brain.
Yeah, I love the ghosts. Like there's like the child like that like fucking fire starter shit, and then they have like the axe guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like just a regular like killer or something like that. But yeah, I love that movie so goddamn much. It hit me at a time too where it was like I was watching those 8 movies to die for, and most of those movies aren't very good. You know,
yeah, they're pretty.
They're not very intriguing. Like there's a couple that are actually fairly decent, and that was like one of those things where I was like, all right, let me try this one, and it's just I don't know. It like if you told me that I was going to watch a horror film with Dominic Purcell that wasn't Blade 3, I would have fucking laughed. Like I said, no way. Like that sounds really silly. I don't want to watch fucking Prison Break with fucking ghosts. But I really thoroughly enjoy that movie, and I show it to a few people, and everybody says the same thing. It's like, man, that movie's stupid, but that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, you didn't show it to me, but I still found it.
I apologize.
And it has a good amount of jump scares, which usually never get me. They actually got me like 3 or 4 times in this movie. Like, what? How'd they get me? So I don't know. I don't know how he did it, but he figured out actual effective jump scare timing, which I appreciated. Oh, okay. And then to go in a completely different direction, I just saw Stonehurst Asylum.
Yeah.
You don't like that one so much?
That's the one with Kate Beckinsale,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I do not like that movie. I like Brad Anderson, but I do not care for that movie all that much.
I was surprised I hadn't heard of it because it has Kate Beckinsale. Michael Caine, Sir Ben Kingsley. I mean, he's done an Uwe Boll movie by now. It's not Gone 2 Days anymore, but still. And it has like half the cast of Harry Potter in it. But yeah, it's based on an Edgar Allan Poe story. And basically, Jim Sturgis arrives at an asylum. And we get a little backstory with Kate Winslet. And we see she's being treated pretty roughly as a patient. And so Jim Sturgis shows up at this asylum and she's staying there and he's immediately taken with her. But we kind of find out pretty quickly that everything's completely fucked up at this asylum. Most people aren't who they say they are. And I don't know, I think I was really in the mood for like a classic gothic, gorgeous asylum castle kind of thing, because it just hit my sweet spot. So I actually really enjoyed it. The cast was amazing. It's not like a full out Hammer horror, like fucked up asylum movie or anything. But I think if you want something kind of gently spooky and atmospheric, it's streaming on American Netflix right now, and it's a gorgeous looking movie. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Maybe I'll give it another chance.
Yeah.
I love Brad Anderson. I think he has a very unique way of storytelling. I'm even an apologist for Halle Berry in that movie called The Call.
I kind of like that too. I saw that in theaters. And he directed
I'm a fan of that one.
Accidents with Marissa Tomei and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, that movie's really good. Everybody knows Session 9, and then the kind of the serial killer. Well, maybe that was too much of a spoiler. The Trans-Siberian with Woody Harrelson and Ben Kingsley. That movie's really good too.
Yeah, I'm just surprised I didn't hear anything about this movie because the cast is insane. I can see why they signed up with it. But
I think it's Kate Mara's in it too. Yeah, it's really, really, really good. So, sure. I mean, he's definitely, every time he makes a movie, I get a little excited because, I don't know, it's like he hasn't made the same movie twice yet, which a lot of even my favorite directors have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So, he has a new one coming out that I haven't seen. It's got that guy from that TV show that everybody likes. That's set like in the 50s or something.
Oh, Mad Men?
Yeah. John Hamm.
Okay. Yeah,
he's in it. I haven't seen it yet. I think it's out. What is it?
Beirut.
Yeah. I think it's already out. I just haven't seen it yet. And it's got that Shia Wingham, who's like fucking great in everything he's in.
But is part of the reason you like him because his name is Brad Anderson?
It's very close to my name, yeah. So I live vicariously through Brad Anderson. Because when people say it, I'm like, oh, it's me.
Oh. Yeah. I'm glad it's not a Highlander situation.
Anything else, Stephanie?
That would be it for...
Oh, Jesus.
There's the
dogs say yes. Yes, I'm done.
What the hell? What? Dog alarm. That's the alarm. It's actually pre-recorded that I play when I think that you guys should be done talking.
Oh, thanks.
Like you just cut Stephanie off.
I'm used to it.
Now, Stephanie, before we recorded, you did propose that we add something to this segment, which I thought was a really good idea.
Thank you.
And so does Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
What have we? Something we've pre-ordered that we're super excited about. So, is there anything that you have on pre-order that you just cannot wait till it arrives on your doorstep?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd like sell an organ or even possibly a piece of your soul to have it now.
Well, I'm sticking to plasma right now, but that might be in my future.
Oh, okay.
Now, before, Brad immediately shot down my idea because he's not a big pre-order guy. which I used to not pre-order ever.
I really don't know why you gotta say that on the air. I mean, but hey, that's cool.
To know what I have to contend with. It's just diva behavior left and right.
Diva behavior.
I did just order Extra. That's a
lot of fun.
I'm so excited about Extra. I remember I rented it and I looked it up. I'm like, oh, I have to own it. And in Region 1, it was pretty dire. But I ordered it from Amazon.co.uk and I can get it shipped for under $25 right now. So that's a
nice
deal. And I'm super excited about Severin right now. There's Zombie 3, Zombie 4, and Shocking Dark, aka Tomato 2.
Well, you can be excited about one of those.
Which one?
Shocking Dark. No.
Come on, man.
The zombie movies are Zombie 3 is okay. Zombie 4 is pretty tough to get through. So, I mean, it's just the thing is that's interesting about Zombie 3 and 4 is that just the history with everything that happened during the filming and everything like that. So it comes with behind the scenes footage and interviews, so that makes it worth it to me. Yeah. So I think that's the kind of special part. So
very nice.
But yeah.
Yes, very nice. So I'm going to throw it over to one of these dudes now.
I'll go.
One of these dudes.
I don't have much because since we last all were together, whoever was together last, I've been super busy, but I did get a chance to watch a few things. I watched Stuart Gordon's Pit and the Pendulum.
Ooh.
And I watched it because I saw you tweet about it, Stephanie.
Yeah, copycat.
Yeah, totally a copycat. And I'm a huge sucker for like religious horror. So like a movie that takes place during like the Inquisition, with Catholic torture, and Lance Henderson, right for horror movies. and all that. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Stephanie, you were right because you said she looks just like the actress in. I'm having a brain blank right now. Hold on.
Jessica Harper.
She looks just like Jessica Harper.
Yeah.
It's Suspiria, and like I couldn't get that out of my brain, like because I saw you tweet that out, and I mean she looks almost identical to Jessica Harper. I don't know who it is, but. Anyway, if you're a fan of basically Catholic Inquisition torture porn, give Pit and the Pendulum a try. It's funny because at first I thought I was putting in, right? Yeah,
Full Moon. It's super cheap. Yeah,
all their movies are.
I need to watch Castle Freak next. I think that's next on the agenda.
Have you seen it all?
No, I haven't. But I have the Blu-ray, so. I kind of got I was like, man, I need to watch Castle Freak now. But so anyway, give that a shot. Lance Henderson is over the top as this.
Did you watch? I'm so sorry. Did you watch the bloopers on the disc?
No, I need to watch those.
You have because it's just Lance fucking up and yelling at people and laughing at his own bad jokes. It's amazing. Perfect. Sounds a lot like me. Next, I watched. Excuse me. The latest Tremors movie, Tremors 6, Cold Day in Hell. It's a Tremors sequel. So, what, how much you like the Tremors movies, the sequels starring Michael Gross, it will depend on how far you go with this.
You're not even going to mention Jamie Kennedy?
I was about to mention.
I'm waiting to hear the ratio.
Jamie Kennedy. Yeah, Jamie Kennedy was in the last one, and he's in this one. It's okay. Like, it's just as good as the other sequels. 5 was okay. It's like the same thing. Like 5 was okay.
Yeah, 5's okay.
You know, I mean,
I like 2 and
this
3.
one. Yeah, I mean, the first Tremors is so good, and with Kevin Bacon, and I'm so like angry now that like Sci-Fi ditched the series, the Tremors series, and then the trailer leaked of the series that looks 10 times better from what I saw in Tremors Day: A Cold Day in Hell. It's like, give me that. Like, it's such a shame.
It's funny that they would like try to kickstart another. Like, the thing is, there was already a TV show of Tremors, and it was like it failed miserably. Did you know that?
Right. I vaguely remember it. Yes,
and it was fine, but like it was like, hey, what should we do? Like, you know, that failed TV show? Let's do that again. Like, how does that work? Like,
but I don't understand why they're not. I mean, the sequels have actually been kind of sort of successful. I mean, they're on 6 Tremors movies. I don't understand why they don't. I mean, bring Michael Gross in, bring everyone in, and do a series. Like, the ideas are fun enough, but the whole thing, like the sequels are missing, is like Kevin Bacon's character is so fun that's missing. It's missing that.
Is he going to do the new
sequels.
TV show?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because I saw some things.
They shot the pilot.
See, I feel like Bacon will have locked it down for him.
He couldn't lock it down.
Is bacon not currency anymore? I don't know what to believe in anymore.
Well, bacon is delicious. Kevin Bacon used to be delicious. He's kind of showing his age.
So he's not bringing home the bacon.
Maybe not.
How long will you allow me to drag this out?
All right. So anyways, if you're curious about Tremors 6, it showed up on Netflix. So if you're a fan of the sequels, you know, grab a beer or your favorite cocktail and sit down and watch it. It's pretty fun. It's one of the better sequels. Next up, I watched a film starring Ice Cube's clone and Gerard Butler. Called Den of Thieves. Now, this is like kind of a Michael Mann wannabe kind of heist film. You really have to let your suspension of disbelief really kind of take a break, especially towards the end of the film, once they kind of you see like what their heist was and how they did it, because it makes 0 sense. At least like I can't figure out how the logistics would work because they don't explain it. But it has a couple strong kind of shootouts in the vein of Heat. Gerard Butler is cranked to 11, and Ice Cube's clone is pretty fantastic. O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah, why do you keep saying Ice Cube's clone? That's his kid.
Because he looks exactly like frickin' Ice Cube.
It's because it's his son.
I know.
Oh, okay.
50 Cent is in this. Anyway, it's a pretty good kind of heist flick. Definitely, like, it wants to be like A grade heist movie, but it goes down to B grade. It's you know, it's gloriously violent. The shootouts are great, and the plot preposterous. So take that for what I loved it. I mean, I had a blast with it. Next up is a movie that called Hostels. And if you're the kind of person that likes getting your teeth pulled without any painkillers, you will love this film. It is it's beautifully shot, but you basically are kind of punching yourself in the groin all the way through because this thing is so freaking bleak. But I loved it in its bleakness. Christian Bale is very strong in this. Wes Studi as Chief Yellowhawk is fantastic. I always love him whenever he shows up in films. But anyway, it's a really bleak Western, kind of Civil War era Western. Have a stiff drink beforehand and one ready afterwards. And Rosamund Pike is in this as well. But it's the opening scene. If you can't get through that, you may not want to sit through the rest of the movie. But it opens bleak. It is bleak, but also there's like kind of a beauty to it. I really loved it. A really well crafted film, but bleak AF. Did I mention it was bleak?
Yeah, you've watched a lot of movies you think require alcohol lately. That's interesting.
I do not have a problem. I'm drinking water right now.
I'm proud of you.
All right. That's all I got. And then for what's on my doorstep, what is gonna be arriving on my doorstep, pretty pumped about. This is UK edition here again. But if you I'm not sure if these are region free or not. I think they might be, but Indicator announced that they're releasing Hammer Volume 3, their third Hammer box set called Blood and Terror. And this one has The Camp on Blood Island, The Stranglers of Bombay, Yesterday's Enemy, and The Terror of the... What the hell does that say? Tongs? The Terror of the Tongs. Like tongs, like you eat with or like cook with.
You could do some fucked up things with tongs.
You could. So this is on Amazon UK. Of course, Indicator is a UK company putting out some really amazing work. If you follow Brian Sauer at all, he is pimping these hardcore as well. And but these box sets are pretty beautiful, and I'm excited to get that one. Also on order, because I'm going to be talking about it in the next Xenopod from the year 5000. Extra podcast plug. Dennis Hopper and in Stuart Gordon's Space Truckers is hitting Blu-ray in a week in the UK, so it'll take a little longer to get to me. But Space Truckers is a pretty fun,
not good,
stupid, and campy as shit.
Pretty fun, not good.
There's like space hogs, literally pigs, space pigs. So Space Hog isn't just a band, everybody. They're real. And Dennis Hopper is transporting them across the galaxy. Steven Dorff is in it as well. It's I think it's actually pretty fun. It's been a while since I've watched it, so I'm gonna revisit it and we'll see if it holds up. But I remember when I first saw this, I had a lot of fun with it. I tried to get Barbara Crampton on to interview about it, and she's, I guess, was barely in it, but she was in it, and then she's like, "Yeah, we all really don't like the film, so I don't know if we could really want it. We all really want to talk about it."
Oh, okay. I just looked it up
it.
real quick. The Indicator set, and they're also doing a Sam Fuller set. I'm super pumped about. It is all region.
Okay, yeah, most of their stuff has been all regions so far, especially those box sets. So, all right, that's all I have on my doorstep, Brad.
Oh, cool.
You always sound surprised when we get to you.
Well, I mean, I'm in a different little role job now where I'm watching a lot of stuff, but I can't speak on behalf of any of the movies.
This is where the Hollywood Henderson comes into play.
So, can you hear me okay? Because I'm here. Let me.
Yes.
Are you on your private jet?
Shut up.
It was a good one.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good. All right, I got to pull up my notes here because I've watched a lot of stuff, but I only can talk about
here we
stuff.
Go. Do I have a time to do a bathroom break before you launch into this for the next 45 minutes?
I have seen like 300 movies, and I can only talk about like
you have 10 minutes.
5.
Go.
Okay. So I watched a found footage movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I told a few people about it. And I was kind of happy that people checked it out like that night and that weekend, and I only had one person that didn't like it. I had a few people. I would say like maybe around 5 or 6 people actually watch it based off my reaction. It's called The Monster Project. It's a found footage flick about these guys who make these videos to put on YouTube, like little scare videos. You know those videos that you see where it's like a ghost real quick and then the camera turns and people go screaming. So these guys set those up and make those movies or little clips for hits on their channel. So they have this idea that they are going to put like this ad out on Craigslist asking for any monsters that are around, like, you know, if you're in human form and at night you become this different thing, you know, to contact them. So they have 3 people that contact them, and they go to this this guy rents out this house, and they have a vampire, a werewolf, and this woman that's possessed by this demon. And so they all go to this house and they do their interviews. And about 45 minutes into the movie, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is kind of interesting, but like I've been watching a movie for 45 minutes and I haven't seen a monster yet. Well, there's a reason why. Is because they just kick everything into extreme high gear. And I haven't seen a found footage movie with this like really, really well done camera work. Ridiculously awesome special effects. I mean, there are some wonky, like, CGI things that happen, but they have like a full on werewolf costume of this fucking thing tearing down doors and walls and chasing them. And it's so fucking good. All the monsters are great. Once the action happens, it just keeps pumping and just it doesn't let up at all. And ultimately we have this really unique and crazy ass story behind the movie. Of course, I can't say anything because it's a huge spoiler, but man, the ending, I was like, shit, that's really fucking cool. This is nothing I've ever seen like this before. So I was really, really happy about it. A lot of people watched it and they loved the special effects and the costumes and stuff. But so yeah, definitely pick that up. It's on like Vudu or something like that. I don't think it's like on Blu-ray or anything. I watched Black Panther and Avengers 3. Those were movies that I've seen. Dude, I did not like Black Panther at all.
What? Oh.
No. I mean, it was not incredibly boring like the last few Marvel movies, but I didn't like it at all. Avengers 3, I wasn't bored, but, whatever.
Is that
Would you do a podcast with Brad? Just Brad reviews Marvel movies.
It would be the shortest reviews ever. It's like,
like
okay,
they're boring.
This was a movie that I saw, and like I didn't fall asleep in Avengers 3. I almost fell asleep in Black Panther.
What?
Dude, I was bored out of my mind.
What? Okay, fine.
Yeah, movies aren't good, man. Like,
one thing about Black Panther though, if they say that there's big like they're this advanced civilization, but they still like are a monarchy.
Ooh, what do you have to criticize?
I'm just saying the whole trouble that everyone finds himself in the film, if they would just have abandoned this ancient, government that doesn't work, where anyone can just come in and usurp power based on their bloodline, then I'm just saying maybe shit wouldn't have gone down.
I saw this.
Maybe if they were like a democracy, like a modern democracy, the wrong person wouldn't come in and become like leader of the free world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe. I think I just answered my own question just now.
Hey, so what was funny is I saw this meme online. I thought it was really, really funny. It was like a picture of like Wakanda, like after Infinity War came out. And it said, "This is what happens when you let white people in your country." That shit was pretty fucking funny. I am excited about Guardians 3. I do like the Guardians movie quite a bit. And they're like all the Guardians stuff I really enjoyed.
But wait, we're supposed to not like Chris Pratt now.
Why?
The internet says so.
Whatever.
Okay,
all right.
Listening to the internet. If I did, I would love Avengers. I finally got around to watching one of my favorite movies, Elevator to the Gallows on Blu-ray. So I was very excited about that. Beautiful transfer yet again from Criterion, especially the DVD was fucking pristine and anyway, but it's got a really, really great soundtrack. It has this unique story. It's just really, really well done. And I don't know. It's just, I can't get enough of it because it has this plot going for it that's just so suspenseful, but nothing is like really happening. But I feel like every time I watch it, like I kind of forget how everything's going to turn out. And I get like dragged right back into the suspense. It has such a great story building. I think if anybody is looking to make a movie of any year, of any genre, I would take note from Elevator to the Gallows, because it knows how to set up a story. And I love when you watch movies and you're kind of like, oh, don't do that. Oh God. Like, that type of thing. And that movie makes you do that kind of thing.
Maybe this time it'll be different.
Yeah.
How many times do you think you've seen it by now?
I don't know. I think I've seen it maybe about 5 times. I just watched it with some friends, maybe a little while ago. I wanted to show it to them to see what they would think. And everybody thoroughly enjoyed it. It was one of those things where like audibly you could hear people like cringe at times, because they're like, oh God, like I love that when movies can make you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Elevator to the Gallows is one of them. Did you ever see the remake?
No.
There's a Korean remake of it. It's actually
is it the same title?
Yes, I want to say so. I had to have some. It's really hard to find.
Of course it is.
Here, let me check. I've
never seen this film. I am obviously
it has
uncultured.
Subtitle. Sean wouldn't like it.
You might not like it.
Yeah, it's one of them movies that they don't speak on English and they don't have any color on it.
I'm sorry, what accent is that? What region?
I don't go to movies to read my movies. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to movies to read them. I go to movies to sit there, my popcorn, and have fun.
Wow.
Reading them in language that I don't understand.
Okay.
English is America. You speak English.
Yeah.
All right. So this is
done.
But like, what's crazy is that that's the debut film from Mao. Like, hey, this is my debut movie, and this is the first movie I made.
It's crazy when a first film is that bombastic.
And it's like,
holy shit.
How did you do that? I think like he did some television and like some documentaries before that, but like your first, he did The Lovers afterwards, like I think like close to the same year, but like, how do you do that? How do you make a movie like that? Your first movie? That's fucking insane. It was, I want to say it is the same title, but it's really well done, but it's told, without spoiling the original, it's told like in a different perspective a little bit. So, yeah.
I like that in a remake.
Yeah, they definitely tried to do something new. And if anybody is going to pick up a camera and make a film, it's, when the, Koreans make any movie, it's usually fucking fantastic. Like, how many bad Korean movies are there? 0. So official
tally.
No, I've seen a couple that aren't great, but they treat remakes. They treat taking taking a comic book, whether it's a book, a remake, whatever it is. There's so much finesse and just so, I don't know, man. It's like a different style. It's like a different method of filmmaking. And it floors me each time. So, but the Criterion release is great. So check that out. And I rewatched the Bill and Ted movies with Willow recently before this third thing was announced. I haven't seen them since I was a kid, and I forgot how fun they are. I was hoping it wouldn't be one of those things where I liked these as a kid, and now I'm rewatching them and they're really boring. But it's I have one of those things where I rewatch those movies as I watched as a kid, and they don't have any value anymore.
Right.
And I don't think nostalgia is great. I don't like, oh man, I love this as a kid. Like this movie's close, this hits close to home. No, I love Three Ninjas when I was a kid, and I watched Three Ninjas a few years ago, and I said, this is a piece of shit. I never want to see this movie again. So I was really, really hoping, because it's been since my early teens. I was watching them on HBO, and I watched them a few times. I remember watching Bogus Journey in Excellent Adventure in school. Like they would play it like in history class and stuff like that, during your
Is that when the teacher was tired? Like, oh.
Yeah. Or it was like towards the end of the year, and like, it's like the last day, couple days, you just watched movies or whatever. So I remember watching that, and I was like kind of nervous because I remember really, really loving the Bill and Ted movies. And rewatching them, I was like, these totally hold up 100%. They're really fucking funny, and it just felt like everything feels like it doesn't feel like it's like they're idiotic characters. I mean, they are idiotic characters, but there's some heart behind it, which they're just not slapsticky, and that's what I really, really enjoyed about it. That's what it is, and it's like, if you had that slapsticky just goofball, it's like they really do have heart. They really care. They want to achieve. They want to be great. They're just not stoners. They're not like just pieces of shit that just lounge around and smoke pot and like, play guitar. They're just fun and, good going guys. And I think that's what really makes the movie click and kind of, stand the test of time in a situation like that. So, excited about the third one. Willow is too, because she really
she liked it.
Yeah, no, she really liked it. And I told her,
great.
I told her about, like, we were watching, because we watched the first one. She was like, yeah, I really like that. And I was like, well, there's the second one. She got really excited. And so, like, I'm watching it, and then I remembered how much that scared me when I was younger. Bogus Journey with the grandma and the rabbit.
Yeah, it's cool, surreal and weird.
And I felt like that was like half the movie. Like when I was watching it was like, oh shit. I was like, this shit used to terrify me. And so I paused it and I was like, oh shit, like this actually really scared me. So like I watch it and it's like, it blows by. It's like literally like a couple minutes of the movie, but it felt so long when I was younger. And Willow turned, she's like, you're kind of like a girl when you're little, right? And I was like, no, like that was just that fever dream like stuff that really makes me uncomfortable. So yeah, and she was just like, I don't see it. But then like a few days later, she was scrolling through Vudu and she came across Parents, and she's like, oh, what's this? And I was like, oh yeah, let's watch this. This is like your first like fever dream movie, like just a really weird setting, like it's uncomfortable, it's weird. And she's watching, it's like, this movie is creepy. And I was like, yes, that's what fucking Bill and Ted did to me. Like those scenes, like that was creepy to me. Like when I watched Parents when I was younger, this movie was unsettling. Like it was
would meet the Applebee's for me as a kid. Like that thing would give me nightmares, but I was obsessed with it.
Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, I haven't seen that since I was little either. So but I mean I like rewatching some of this stuff, and it does hold up because it's so rare that it does. It's just some of those movies just hit when you're a kid, and then you rewatch them, and it's just like it does. Like it's maybe the nostalgia aspect is fun, and I think I always try to tell people is like separate like good versus nostalgia, because like I really don't think there's that many of those movies that are great. They're just fun because it reminds you of being a kid, but some movies can stand the test of time. I love that.
Yeah, the scripts are tight. Their chemistry is perfect. And I have a great memory of Bogus Journey when I was a kid. I loved it. My dad was like, hey, do you want to know where them playing games against death is from? I was like, yeah. And he rented the seventh sign for the seventh seal for me.
Yeah, the seventh. Yeah, that's a good Criterion release too.
No, and I fell in love with it. I was 12 years old, and I thought it was so funny and clever, and I dressed as Death for Halloween that year.
That's awesome. Yeah. No.
So I'm really glad Willow liked it. I was actually a little worried about it.
Yeah. No. She kept on for maybe about a week. She kept saying this is most non-triumphant. Oh. And I laughed, and then she kept saying station every once in a while, and that made me laugh too. Station. Yeah, it's funny because that's I was watching it and I was like, huh, I wonder if that's kind of a little homage with the whole Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if that's what Groot used to say in the comics, if anybody can verify that, but I thought there's so much meaning with one word or one sentence or one phrase. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy ripped that from Bill and Ted 2. No. Well, Guardians was before the comics. I don't know the timeline. That was my question. I was like, I'm not saying anything. I don't know anything about comics, but I thought it would have been funny if it was kind of a little homage to that. But I don't know if Groot said "I am Groot" all the time in the fucking comics or not. I have no idea.
I know the comics started in 1970 or something like that, but okay. I'm not sure about the "I am Groot."
Oh.
All right. Cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Oh, do you have anything on pre-order that you're pumped about?
Yeah, your fake pre-order.
I have a bunch of mail that I haven't opened up yet, and I think I don't know when this actually ships, but Eldorado Films is releasing the second volume of Lost James Franco. Jesus Christ.
The Lost Films of James Franco. Featuring James Franco sex doll.
That'd be the worst thing. Hey, these are the two lost films from James Franco. But they're releasing the forgotten films of Jess Franco, and it's I can't remember the name. It's one's Casablanca and the other one's I don't know. It has the original titles to it, but I think they only printed 300 on Blu-ray. So I bought the first one when it came out, so this is the second one. Eldorado is nice. A super small label, but they do really good work. Mainly just the transfers from the print, but some really good shit. So very cool. All right. We are going to jump into Blu-ray news with Josh Obershaw, and then we'll jump into our next segments. So stick around. Josh Obershaw now joins us for the Blu-ray release news. Josh, what's up?
Hey, I've got a shitload of news. It's been too long.
So. Bring it. Dump it into our ear holes.
Yep.
That can get kinky, but we'll just go with it.
Sure, why not? Let's see. Oh, God, where do I start? Damn. Well, some last-minute news just came in. Hardware is coming back to Blu-ray. And
Again.
This time it's going to be courtesy of Scorpion Releasing, and they're going to be putting this out next month in June at some point. But you can already pre-order it on RoninFlix.com. So,
very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to pick this one up, but I get another chance.
Yeah, I know Severin had it, and I think they were losing the rights to it, so they were unloading this Blu-ray for $5 a pop, man. It was just they were blowing it out of there. So I was telling everybody, buy it.
Damn. Yeah, I almost bought it at a convention. Severin had a booth at, I believe it was Monsterpalooza a couple of years back, but I didn't get it.
Well, now you have a chance again, man. It's good.
Now I have a chance.
They'll probably do a pretty good job, and did they say anything about doing a special collector's edition type thing, or because the other one was pretty stacked? I wonder if they're bringing over the same special features and stuff.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's the same features, but it has new artwork. It's got a slipcover.
Oh,
so
right on.
It looks pretty damn sexy, to be honest with you.
I'll probably buy it again.
Okay, some other tidbits from Scorpion releasing while we're still talking about them. Sorceress is going out of print, so if you want that one or you're curious about it, now's the time to get it.
Buy it.
Yeah.
It's batshit crazy. It's worth it.
Oh, man, I haven't seen that one, but maybe I should.
There's like a flying tiger god monster thing that it was on the poster just because Roger Corman, the poster always comes first, and they put it on the poster, and they were like, well, we got to put this in here somewhere, so they found a way to kind of sandwich that creature into the film, and it makes no sense. It's fantastic.
I'm sold. And lastly, from Scorpion releasing, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but there was a movie directed by Robert Downey Sr. called Greaser's Palace. That is going to be available on June 1st. Now, I first heard of this movie not too long ago because the Pure Cinema podcast did their humongous 2-part, 6-hour love letter to John Carpenter. And this was one of the films they were talking about in their little, double features. What would they pair up a certain John Carpenter movie to? And Greaser's Palace was one of those films that they were talking about. And it just sounds crazy. So, and crazy is up my alley. Next up, Mondo Macabro. They announced they have acquired the U.S. rights to 1976's Bloodlust, and the details for that one are yet to be announced. But we have a solid release date for the Spanish film Who Could Kill a Child. That date is July 10th. Going back to the Scorpion Code Red family, Code Red is going to be releasing Love Me Deadly on July 24th. Next up, Umbrella Entertainment. Razorback is coming to Blu-ray. That is awesome. Very awesome.
Umbrella is they're re-releasing a couple things. They're re-releasing Beastmaster as well. Sorry if I'm stealing your thunder.
No, that's fine. I forgot about Beastmaster. That's right.
and Razorback. And I'm wondering if they're doing region free this time, because I think that's the case with Beastmaster. Because I think it was region 2 locked. So. And I think that they're releasing it all region. But I'm wondering if that's the case with Razorback, or they got a new scan. It'd be interesting if they got a new scan, because I know that there's a certain company that I've talked to that someone involved with that company really loves Razorback, and they're trying to champion it as far as a release goes. So that would be interesting if Umbrella beats them to the punch and does a region-free awesome release,
Yeah, I love Beastmaster. I mean, I love those early '80s Conan ripoffs. I mean, it can be Ator the Fighting Eagle. I don't care.
Me too. Man.
I will watch it. So, and Beastmaster is definitely the primo example of those type of movies. One more movie that Umbrella Entertainment is going to be putting out that I'm really excited for is 1994's No Escape, starring Ray Liotta.
What? Whoa, hold it. What? How'd I miss this? I've been begging for this for years. This isn't like a belated April Fool's, right? This is real.
Nope, this is not a girl.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
July 4th, my friend.
The gods have smiled upon me.
I really, really hope this is region free too, because I saw this movie when it first came out, and it is just awesome. So I totally forgot about it for many, many years, and I guess I was coming across something on TV, No Escape. I'm like, oh, I remember No Escape, but it was the wrong No Escape.
The Owen Wilson movie named No Escape, which actually is a pretty damn good movie, but it isn't Ray Liotta No Escape.
Hell no.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
So
genuine
mark your
excitement right
calendars.
now.
Independence Day, No Escape on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Next up, Scream Factory have announced 3 new titles. Actually, 3 older titles. They've been announcing new titles too, but the 3 catalog titles that they've announced. They're going to be putting out 1991's The Unborn on August 14th. And they're also going to be releasing Brain Scan.
Yeah. We covered this on the Screamcast as a Stream Screams segment. And now everyone can own it on Baby Blue.
I can't believe I missed this one in theaters when it first came out, so I'm glad that I get to correct that mistake. Last but certainly not least, from Scream Factory on, August 14th, Return of the Living Dead, Part 2.
We covered this on the Screamcast as well, on the Stream Screams segment. See, look, if you listen to the Screamcast, go back to some of the Stream Screams. They're going to start coming out on Blu-ray, people. I was not a fan of Return of the Living Dead Part 2, but it kind of operates as a remake you can show your kids, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense, yeah. Well, it's primarily because, Tom Matthews and James Karen kind of play pretty much the same characters as the first movie, and, the same fate pretty much befalls them.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same film, except the no 100% nude all the time, Linnea Quigley. Plus,
you got zombies driving a Jeep.
It's goofball. But yeah, it's actually, now that I think about it, I may want to, this may be one of the first movies I kind of, because my kids have been curious about zombies and stuff, but I've been like, Night of Living Dead, they're like, it's in black and white, and then the remake is a little too intense. I'm wondering if this will be a good way for me to kind of jump them, ease them into the zombie subgenre.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
And it's a goofy film, though.
That's not a bad idea because, yeah, but, I mean, also, you got a kid as your protagonist.
Yes.
So that'll bring him in as well.
Yeah. You do have a zombie hand given the bird, which is, I really dig that shot.
I mean, it's my least favorite of the original three, but to have all three of these on Blu-ray finally, worth it.
What else we got?
I got a little more Scream Factory news for you really quickly. Steelbooks. On August 14th, they're going to be putting out new 4K remasters of The Howling, Army of Darkness, and Life Force. And yes, the Life Force Blu-ray will have both versions of it.
Huh. That's interesting.
I mean, the artwork looks pretty cool. Although, so I missed out on The Howling and Life Force, so I'm really excited to be able to pick those up because the Life Force one went out of print really, really damn quick.
Yeah.
That was one of Scream Factory's biggest hits.
Yeah, I feel like they re-released it, but it didn't have a certain special feature on it.
Yeah, they did. I don't know what's missing. I don't remember if it came with both versions, but there was something missing that made it not quite as special.
Right on. I guess if they're offering something new, maybe I'll take a peek at the Steelbooks. I'm so not a fan of them making us double dip on things. I'm not generally a Steelbook fan anyway, but that's just me. Unless it comes with a slipcover like Suspiria. One of the only times I'll ever really love a slipcover.
Agreed.
I'm goofy. I'm weird. All right. What else we got, Josh?
We've got 3 new titles from Severin, speaking of which. Zombie 3, Zombie 4, and Shocking Dark. All coming out on May 29th. Now, in the case of Shocking Dark, it's better known to fans as Terminator 2. The infamous Shocking Dark / Terminator 2 is getting a goddamn Blu-ray release.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're doing the a limited slipcover basically until they get a cease and desist. They're going to keep printing that slipcover. So get your pre-orders in fast for that. I know that I did the day it was released. I got my pre-order in. And if you go to certain not film festivals, but horror conventions, if you find the Severin table, they are selling it already. I know that Joe Guin got himself a copy already.
Lucky.
So I know. I'm like, hey, I put in my pre-order. You guys at least send it out to me. But yeah, if find the Severin table if you're at any convention because you can grab that. I mean, it's such a goofy flick. I need to. I've heard tell of it. So I have not seen it myself, but I heard it's basically a ripoff of Aliens with Terminator mixed in.
That is exactly right.
It was like word for word, I'm told.
The balls on this guy, Bruno Mattei, the balls on this guy to do was. But
he did that with
jaw dropping.
He did a version of Aliens with with like evil alien babies or something like that. What was that film? What was that movie? It was like zombies.
Zombies, the beginning.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that guy.
Shitty Bruno Mattei triple feature that you made me watch. That was like one of the first assignments you gave me.
Yeah. You're welcome, Josh.
Okay, what else have I got? Oh, wait. I got locked out. Okay, here we go. Last but not least. Oh, wait. It's not last. We forgot about Arrow.
Okay, we can get Arrow.
Yeah. I'll just do Arrow really quickly because, I don't know. It's not really too exciting. Like, they're putting out Doom Asylum, which I have never seen. That one is coming out on both sides of the Atlantic on the 16th and 17th. The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, that is also US and UK. That's July 16th and 17th. The Navigator, A Medieval Odyssey.
I saw that. I'm like, what is this? I've never heard of it.
I never heard of it either. I saw the synopsis. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. That's also going to be US and UK. That is the 23rd and 24th. Oh, God, I forgot which other company was putting it out, but another Blu-ray company is putting out The Navigator. I just don't remember which one, but yeah, you got two different companies putting out The Navigator. I think it may be Umbrella, but I might be wrong. Detective Bureau 2 to 3, Go to Hell Bastards. This was actually streaming on Amazon UK. They were doing, I guess they were releasing it on Prime first before putting out a physical Blu-ray. But the physical release is for both territories, July 9th and 10th. The Endless. Yeah. It's going to be a UK only release. That's July 2nd. That's one of them.
Who's got the US rights? Is it Magnolia or Magnet? One of those. Do one of those have the US rights?
I believe so. I couldn't tell you which one.
One of those two.
Yeah.
I think Magnet.
Oh.
Don't quote me, people.
Don't quote either of us.
Just Google it, which I will not do right now.
Last but not least, for all you UK people, you lucky bastards, the Boondock Saints. That is
that's not like
July 9th.
a billion releases here in the States.
Yeah.
I swear that thing it's been released so many times. I wonder what's Arrow doing to make this thing new for everybody. I'm not sure how many releases the UK has had, but I mean, because this is one of those movies I loved when I was younger, and then upon rewatch, I'm like, But if you watch it, if they included that documentary, about the director.
No, it's not included, unfortunately.
Damn it! It's like the perfect combination.
Oh, I agree. I've never seen the documentary, but
the Troy Duffy documentary.
Excuse me.
If you can find it, track it down and watch it. It's called Overnight, and it like if you watch Boondock Saints and then you watch Overnight, it's like the perfect pairing because he's such a dick throughout the filming of Boondock Saints. You almost feel bad for everyone because he just thought he was like going to be this next Quentin Tarantino. It's a fantastic documentary, but I've been waiting for a studio to put those two together. You know, the documentary with the film. That would be like the perfect package. But oh well, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too because I am a fan of Boondock Saints. I revisited it a couple of times recently, and for a Tarantino ripoff, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's entertaining.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe is balls to the wall crazy, and he's fantastic. I mean, you got some great actors there too. It's you know,
he's the MVP of that movie.
Yeah, totally.
All right, I think I've talked long enough, but I got one more bit of surprise news.
Oh, boy. Okay.
One more.
All right.
MVD Rewind Collection will be putting out 1992's Split Second.
Yes.
It's about goddamn time, too.
I was just organizing my Blu-rays and I found my 101 Films version of Split Second. So my UK version. So awesome, fantastic. They made me rebuy Return of the Swamp Thing, and then now I'm going to be rebuying not Second Sight. Wait, what is it? Split Second. Second Sight. Second Sight's a movie, a distributor. Split Second.
Yeah, it's also a shitty comedy with John Larroquette and the guy from Perfect Strangers.
What a shitty comedy? What are you talking about? I love that flick. When I was a kid, I loved it. I'm dreading revisiting it. I don't know if it'll be as good, but
probably not. But it is a piece of shit, but I still dig it anyways.
Awesome, dude. That's awesome. MVD Video Rewind Collection is knocking it out of the park. I think I've bought every single one of theirs so far, and except for that Van Damme film, Black Scorpion? I
believe it is.
I have the 101 Films UK version of that too, and I haven't watched it yet. And I heard it's like an okay Van Damme, but depending on the extras and stuff, I may give that MVD Video Rewind version a look-a-see, because they're doing such a great job with these. You know, they're aimed right towards people like us. you know? So they're killing it. Awesome.
Now I understand, really quick, Split Second was like released by HBO Home Video or something like that. I don't know. But and it kind of got me thinking, what if they get the Hitcher?
Oh, man.
That would be cool. That's another Rutger Hauer movie I would love to revisit it again.
See, could happen with No Escape coming out in the UK. Split Second coming out. It's been out in the UK. Now it's out in the US. Anything could happen. HBO needs to unleash a few of these films that I've talked about in too much, but dude, that'd be amazing. Like MVD Video Rewind doing The Hitcher would be printing money right there. So someone I guarantee you people have been trying to get the rights to that gold mine, but that'd be amazing, man. And actually thinking about it, I'm like, I can see the way they do their covers. I can envision it right now. So, all right, man. Well, I'm sure everyone listening, as well as myself, have probably pre-ordered way too many things during this conversation. Make sure you check in with grindhousevideo.com.
The sounds of wallets screaming everywhere.
Check in with grindhousevideo.com. See if they have any of these for pre-order. He will treat you right over there. So do it. And all right, Josh. We'll talk to you next time, man.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'll see you guys on the next go around. Take it easy.
Nikki.
Well, here we are at last. Right where we ought to be. On video. Oh my God!
Today we are talking about a 1986 British horror film starring Elizabeth Shue and Terence Stamp. It is called Link.
For centuries, the link between man and the primates has been shrouded in darkness, surrounded by mystery.
Dr. Phillip is expecting me.
Now, one man has closed the gap.
Well, he's a different kind of intelligence.
Forged the link.
It's different, all right.
And discovered what has always been missing.
Don't get involved in their squabbles. They sort them out.
Link, what happened in here?
Always forgive them, whatever they do. Don't ever let anything escalate.
Are you all right?
You killed Dennis.
Link, I said stop hunting! Open the door now! We gotta outthink him.
How?
Man is no longer in control.
Based off the super intelligent orangutan, chimp, who is actually Orangutan, who's been dyed black. Directed by Richard Franklin, written by Everett D. Roach, and it's from a story by Lee David Zlotoff and Tom Ackerman. Score, of course, by Jerry Goldsmith, which I was really surprised to see that Jerry Goldsmith contributed to the score. It made me very, very happy. This is currently only available on VHS. There may be some DVD bootlegs you may find. I'm not sure if it was released on DVD a while ago, but what I saw on Amazon, they were all like $99. So I don't know if those were legit releases or not. But goddamn, what a film that you picked, Brad.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very simple plot. Elizabeth Shue's character kind of goes in and works for this guy, Terrence Stamp, and he has all these chimps around, and Link realizes I guess he's going to be euthanized possibly, so he decides to burn the shit down, as they say.
He didn't want that. He said nah.
This is fun, and this is one of those films that it's popular because there's that one frame that we've seen of Elizabeth Shue trying to take a bath, and then there's Link, the quotes chimp, kind of being a peeping Tom, and it's a out of context, very hilarious picture. But Stephanie, what did you think of Link?
Oh, I loved it. Okay, Brad. No.
Oh wait. Okay, you just go ahead. Yeah.
No, it had I didn't know he was actually an orangutan. That's kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah.
In a tux though. Like holy shit, he was like
he does.
George Burns, just like with his little cigar and his little tux. And the writer, I didn't know he wrote a bunch of my favorite like Ozploitation movies, like Snapshot, which we talked about, Razorback and Long Weekend and Patrick. Mm-hmm. And it kind of made sense because this is just a gonzo movie. And I mean, there's a point where he beats a dog to death against a fence. Yeah. And it's very realistic. I mean, you are there with every smack. And Elizabeth Shue is great in this. She's really young in this. She's great. She's strong in a very naturalistic way, like just a smart girl who probably spent the summers at like her grandparents' farm, so she knows how to like take care of shit. But I will say it did start cracking me up when something horrific would happen, like someone would get murdered, and she'd kind of be like, Link, I'm gonna lock you out of the house now, and then she'd just go and do like a different chore. I'm like, you're allowed to get a little more upset. You can be a little more proactive about the situation. And she's surrounded by kind of these useless British guys, so she's pretty much on her own. Terrence Stamp is just so grumpy in it.
Yeah.
So I really like their chemistry together. Her is like the plucky American girl, and he's like, oh, just clean up this shit. It's fine. Just don't let them know. I mean, I don't know. I really like that dynamic. And yeah, I mean, some people might write this movie off because of the whole monkey aspect, but I thought it was really well crafted. Really tense, and there's this one like chasing shot where Link is chasing them up the stairs, and the camera like pans above them, and you see them go into the room and Link coming up the staircase, and then they shut the door on them, and like I don't know how they did that shot. It was like some kind of crane, it had to be, but it was almost, I don't want to say Hitchcockian, but I guess I kind of did. It had these great little moments, and I did like the Jerry Goldsmith soundtrack. It reminded me a little bit of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the soundtrack in that, which threw me off a little bit, but I dug the hell out of this. Yeah, It's fun,
Awesome.
but it's actually truly thrilling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Richard Franklin, you know, did you mention, you mentioned he directed Road Games, right? Director of Road Games?
I was talking about the writer.
You're talking about writer? Okay, so yeah, the director, like I said, directed Road Games, and I believe he made FX2, which he, after that experience of FX2, he basically like quit Hollywood.
And
just
FX2
said, "Fuck
is
this."
one of the greatest movies of all time, so that's...
Yeah, he went back to Australia and he decided to do a couple more Australian films there, but he was done with Hollywood. He did pass away, I believe, in 2007.
Ooh, we're back to that now.
Yep.
Where you just
But
give
as
people's
far
deaths?
as far as monkey films go, I believe like this
Films.
Link, I think is my favorite like primate actor alongside Shakma.
Okay, but
You
have you
the
seen the
1990
cameraman?
Shakma film?
What about Amy from Congo?
No, Buster Keaton's the cameraman. That little monkey like has an Uzi and he shanks somebody and he works a
my
film
God.
camera. That monkey rules. I'm sorry.
All right, well, it looks like we have a trio
I
of
love
great
monkeys.
primate
I
actors
get
here.
passionate about monkey movies. I'm sorry.
I'm going with Amy from Congo
Okay,
because
all right.
that
I do
ape
like
was
it.
real.
Brad, when did you see Link, and why is this something you feel like people should be discovering? Because this thing, I don't know why some label hasn't brought this one out yet.
Universal owns
this
it.
boggles my mind, huh?
Universal owns it.
Oh, do they own it? Well, this was a Canon film, right?
Yeah,
and
but I
it's
think
also
the rights-
HBO owns it, so the rights must be fucked up.
Well, I know that my tape, I think, is Thorn EMI. So if the HBO could own that, then
Yeah, mine is HBO and Canon.
yeah. So, but it depends. I mean, all those things. It's not who the last, rights could have reverted back to Universal since they owned it outright. But yeah, I saw it when I was younger. It was just one of those things my mom has always really, really loved. Ape and monkey and, movies. So watching stuff with her, I mean, that was originally when I saw Shakma, Monkey Shines, Link, Primal Rage, all those. Like, my mom just really, really loved animal attack movies, but she was really drawn to, she wasn't a fan of like Planet of the Apes. She loved, the new Planet of the Apes films, but she didn't really like the old ones. She liked more realistic, even if, it's like CGI in the new ones, but still, it's very obvious that it's not a fucking person with makeup
Yeah,
on.
just people in the suit.
Right. So like, but she was always drawn to those movies. That's how I originally saw it. I'm hoping that if this really does happen, because I guess Scream Factory is working with Universal now with some titles. I'm hoping that this is one of them. If they can, there's I'm not sure which version you saw, but the movie's cut by 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it hit VHS. So
they cut?
Yeah, I mean it's very it's just like a lot of shots that were just cut. I know that the big one is whenever when Philip gives the book to Jane, there's a note in it saying how much he is attracted to her.
So like gooey stuff.
Yeah, just further character stuff.
Yeah, no, I just saw something on here. Universal cut 8 minutes out, and then EMI was taken over by the Canon Group, and then they cut 5 more minutes out.
Stop it, guys.
So there's
damn it, people.
Yeah, there's I know it ends a little bit differently as far as like I'm trying to remember the film. So like because it ends in the basement, right? And like they get out and they get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it shows them like walking like and talking, like getting out of the basement and then getting in the car and driving away. I think that's something too, because I have the cut of the film, because I think there was a French company that released the full version on DVD, and I got a copy from someone that ripped it for me because I really wanted to see it, and I watched it with my mom because I knew she liked it. I told her, hey, this is a movie you showed me. She's like, I don't remember that movie. I was like, all right, let's watch it. It's got like 10 extra minutes. I thought this would be special, but fuck you, Mom.
Oh.
I figured she'd be like, oh yeah, Link, I remember watching that with you when you were 6. And I was like, I've never seen this movie. And then we're watching it. She's like, I've never seen this movie before. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Why don't you just fucking leave?
But you hate nostalgia, Brad. Now you know who you got it from.
So, but yeah, it was just, I saw it when I was younger. It always just kind of stuck with me. And it's a little bit more like it's really well made. That's the thing. Yes. And I think that's what differentiates something like, I mean, I love Romero, but I really don't care for, like, I can't rewatch Monkey Shines a bunch of times. I don't think it's that great of a movie. I think it's okay. I used to love it when I was younger, but then rewatching it when it came out on Blu-ray, I was like, this was kind of disappointing. But Primal Rage, even though that's more, it's a little bit different. What was some other ones that I mentioned? There's Link. Shockma's still really fun. That's
Shockma's great.
Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, always enjoyed it as a kid. So
awesome. Well, no one can get it, so I guess try to find it on VHS. You may, no. I was gonna say you may find it on YouTube, but no, it's not there listed for anyone out there to just search out. But anyone who wants to see it can maybe drop me a line.
It's maybe. Boy.
If you kind of want to maybe see it, maybe. I don't know. I might find something for you. Twitter handle.
So nice of you.
Scream_cast. Drop us a DM. All right. Just drop a DM with a monkey or a chimpanzee GIF, and maybe you'll get some sort of hookup.
Can it be from Outbreak?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Moving along. Let's jump into Stream Screams.
Nate, wake up!
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
Don't fucking scream at me!
If you scream, I'll break your neck.
Don't scream, miss. Don't scream.
Say it 3 times fast.
Stream Screams, Stream Screams, Stream Screams.
Pretty good.
Stream Unique New York.
You can't even say names slowly. Like, how are you supposed to say names fast?
I don't know. I'm working on it because I did an actual like legit voiceover for a company. Like the first notes, they were like, "You slow down and stop slurring your words." And I was like, "Well, I only drank half a bottle of scotch that night. I wasn't that drunk when I recorded, but I'll try it sober and see how we do it." But yeah, I do talk too fast sometimes and run words together.
Awesome.
I'm working on it.
Cool.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing this show for like 4 or 5 years. You should have been able to like cure it by then. But anyways, we're so professional.
I'm working on it. What's a podcast? So who cares? You know what I mean? Nobody gives a shit.
We care,
on podcasts.
Sean. We care deeply, listeners. Don't listen to this guy's pulling
Today, we are talking about the film Mon 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 Monsters.
林书伟，校园生活除了念书之外，还有人际关系呀。
你干嘛打我？哪里好玩啊？老师。我觉得那个保险箱一定有金条。
film out of Taiwan, directed by Giddens Co. and written by Giddens Co. And I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the stars of this.
Aren't you practicing?
Cool.
I just don't want to offend anybody right now. But
yeah, because you might sound racist when you do that, so that's a good idea.
I didn't say that.
This movie's like fucking mean, man. Like,
yeah,
I didn't rewatch it. I saw it at Fantastic Fest. I think it was Fantastic Fest, and I was excited to see it because I heard it was a monster movie, and then I'm watching it. I was like, man, this movie's fucking mean, man.
Well, it's basically about a handful of asshole teenagers that basically kidnap a monster that happens to be like a flesh-eating monster and tie it up and proceed to basically taunt it while its sibling tears through the city. Mother, okay. I couldn't tell if it was a mother or a sibling. Yeah, I thought it was a sister too.
Is it a sister?
I think so. I don't know, but they're monsters, so who you don't know. But anyway, the mother or the sibling is tearing through the city trying to basically find this captured monster. And I thought, number one, like the monsters like surprised me because they're kind of the zombie-ish thing. But I was surprised at like the empathy that I had for the captured one, especially. Like, wait a minute, like I was unsure who I was kind of supposed to be empathizing with because the kids are assholes. But they're also being brutally murdered, and a lot of innocent people are being brutally murdered by the other monster. But yeah, there are a bunch of asshole teenagers that basically captured a thing or kind of prodding it, Like when I was a kid, we would like basically dig up worms and like dissect worms. Like they're kind of doing this with this monster, but they're way more mean-spirited than I was at like 7.
Don't serial killers do that when they're kids?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So what was unique about this this film is that and something you don't see is we're given these awful monsters that are killing people. That's how they live. That's their prey. But ultimately, in any movie, we don't want to. We need to see these things die. And how this movie turns to where people are even more evil, and the monsters are kind of like the good people. That's a really deep thing, and it was really I was going to say funny, but it's not funny. The director during the Q&A, I remember he's like a huge author, like over in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. Like the dude has like fucking a shit ton of books that he's written. Like he's like a very high profile author over there, and he's doing movies here and there. And he just kept saying like, this was the darkest time of my life when I did this movie. Like like he hated everybody. And the audience started laughing because it's like, dude, that emulates on the screen really, really well because this movie's mean as fuck. We were discussing that it was, maybe like siblings of the monsters. But when I was watching it, I guess you could view it any way you want because it's, the monsters don't speak or anything like that.
Right.
But I was really looking at like the mother-daughter relationship, because what you would do for your child and how far you would go. And what you would do for nothing to stop from anything bad happening to them. And I love how the film takes that toll. And this is not spoilers or anything, but it really humanizes the monsters if you look at it that way. Like if your kid was kidnapped and you had nowhere to turn to, what would you do? And I really, you don't see movies do that, where it humanizes the villain, and the villain's a monster. I mean, there's the monsters obviously have human characteristics, but essentially, like, you know, they are monsters. Yeah, and it's incredibly dark. It's not fun. It's very mean. It's kind of tough to get through, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed it because of that, though. I mean, I was like, you know, I was expecting to see some monster movie with, you know, kind of a happy ending, which a lot of these foreign monster movies and ghost movies do. Like, there's a reason why the monster's doing this or something like that. Or, you know, it's a ghost that needs to be, you know, reunited with the bones of the fucking person that died or some shit like that. But no, this was just like, these are monsters and these kids are assholes. And that fucking ending, man, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it's just, it's just like, man, like, once you think, like, it's like, oh, this is all cleared up. And it's just like, you know, it makes you really feel like, man, there really is no good in the world. Like, everything's just really shitty. And watching this movie now, I imagine even hits harder just because of, I feel like, this downhill of a world we're kind of pummeling into. I mean, there's obviously still great people in this world, and, you know, people that I know haven't changed, but this movie's perfect for right now, you know, because I mean, I think we need stuff like this, but we also need, you know, happy shit too. But well, this movie hits really hard.
Stephanie, what did you think of Mon 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 Monsters? Like, counting off the Mons in my head.
I'm exactly where Brad is. You can even look at it. They're torturing this monster, and it's secret, obviously, but they, especially the lead sadistic little shit, they get more and more brazen, and that does seem to echo what's going on in society right now. Like, all these little cockroaches who have been hiding, they just like, oh, we keep getting away with this. So they become more and more brazen. They start attacking more people. And, you know, I know it's not always fun to get political or anything when you're talking about films, but sometimes it feels like you're not truly talking about the film if you don't let it come up. And it does feel like a very timely movie. And in some ways it's very blunt. Like, when a lot of really terrible things happen, kids are just like blank faced or giggling while they're recording it on their phones, like hundreds of kids at once. And you're just like, oh shit.
Well, there's the first time that really happens was something really insane happens in the gym. And everyone's just like, just videotaping on their phones, and
someone's
giggling and taking
burning to
pictures
death
and
in front of them. And it's almost
like no one's. It's surreal, but it's like, it definitely feels like the movie in a way is making a point. But I don't feel like it's really hitting you over the head as much. I think it's just in a way telling the truth, you know. And it's some movies, like, you can kind of say, oh, this movie's not very, you know, you gotta have suspension of belief, or I can't talk right now, suspension of disbelief, or you just kind of go with it. Some, like, horror movies, of course, there's the more fantastical, but like the essence of this film, like, I feel like is based in a lot of truth with these mirrors of, you know, society. And, you know, you can say modern society, but you can also go back and look at different, you know, societies and how we've been, I guess, gotten numb over time. And definitely that shows in the film. Even as, like, I'm thinking about it more even as we're talking about it. I'm like, wow, you guys are right.
There's very heightened, gory moments in this, but they also show how mundane evil can be. Like, at first it's this exciting game, and it gets to the point where you see these kids, like, they're bored basically with torturing, but it doesn't stop them. There's no purpose to it, but what else are they going to do? Hey, can you think of, like, something else to do to her? And it's a dark, mean tone throughout it, but gives it gives you just enough whiplash, especially when they cut to the sister, who is a total mother figure, but she was technically her older sister.
Yeah.
Desperately, she can't speak English or anything. She's just desperately trying to find her, and you just keep cutting, and it gives you just enough difference in tone and perspectives that, like, I'm a really sensitive person, and sometimes if things are too brutal, I kind of go numb. But this one changed perspectives enough where I never was numb. As disturbing as it wasn't like a one note thing. It was really unique how they kind of balanced everything, but it is so brutal. Yeah, no, I absolutely adored this film. It's interesting to hear, Brad, especially you say that you don't know if you would want to watch this again. I think we lost Brad. Brad, you there? I really would. I really want to see this again. I really dug this, and yeah, it's my reaction was weird to it because I can understand where both of you are coming from. As far as it being dark, and it is, in a sense brutal. But yeah, I thought there's enough nuance to it that I wouldn't really mind seeing it again, because I think there's enough more to even explore in it.
If I watched it again, I would show it to people just to see their reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was bullied as a kid, so there's like some aspects of the film that really kind of got to me. But I'm almost at the point now where I kind of take that on, and I almost, for my own personal therapy, like accept it and kind of watch stuff like that, because you kind of understand the nuance of it and everything. So, but I really love the film, and I know it's streaming on Shudder. Mm-hmm. And do we know of is there any physical company that's going to be releasing it, or do you guys know, did this just get?
No, Shudder doesn't do, I don't think they do any. If they acquire something, I think there's one coming out for like something on Blu-ray that they're doing, but no, they're basically just streaming, and they don't.
So it's like exclusive for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is exclusively, the rights were purchased by Shudder.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that there's somebody, like, I'm sure they only purchase digital rights.
Yeah.
Their physical rights would still be up for grabs if anybody wants to do that.
Because I would love to see this again. I as a physical collector, I would love to have this, but I think there's so much to kind of unpack in this movie. Like, there's so much social commentary going along with it. I would love to see some sort of you had the Q&A. I would love to have either a Q&A or some sort of interview with the director, or even, people kind of doing like a commentary, kind of talking about the parallels and stuff like that, because I feel like it's a monster movie, but it's not like just some fun, goofy monster movie. Like, there's so much going on in it. There's even like commentary and kind of like our digital, like you said, like our digital culture. Everyone's on a phone, everyone's texting. I really love the way they handled texting. It was just because it's a form of their communication, right? So some movies kind of
and how we
go
treat
heavy-handed
our
with that.
elderly and everything,
right? Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on. Like, I really want to watch it again to kind of see what other layers there are in the film. So, it comes highly recommended for me. I know that it's been, like, people call it like a horror comedy. I wouldn't call it a comedy.
It's absurdist, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't get like the full on like comedic elements, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of just a horror comedy off the top of my head, but
no, it's not a comedy at all.
Right? Yeah.
There's nothing funny about this movie.
Yeah, even like the poster, it kind of looks like that. But I was like, whoa.
I was expecting something more lighthearted. It's not. I mean, there is comedic interaction between the high schoolers that I guess maybe, but it's not like trying to be a comedy. Like, there's so much. There's a lot more going on with it.
Black.
Yeah, he has the dark comedy, for sure. So yeah, you guys can watch it on Shudder. I think Shudder for me, at first I kind of wrote it off. I was like, man, this thing's not going to stick around, and they've really kind of put their money where their mouth is, and there's so much to explore in Shudder. You know, there's some of their exclusives, and they've really got some really good exclusives. You know, and
I'm going anywhere, man. I'm stuck in AMC.
I know, but FearNet went down and all that stuff. Like you never like horror exclusive stuff.
Like fucking AMC's not going anywhere.
If Kevin Bacon can't save Tremors, we can't.
Exactly.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, just okay.
Yeah.
We can't trust anything right now. Just support everything.
Yeah, yeah. But no, Shudder. Anyway, we'll be doing a lot more Shudder stuff, I think, for in the future, and we're trying to spread the screams around to Netflix, Shudder, and then Vudu and anything else like that. So even Amazon Prime, I think, has some exclusive shit now. So
Sequence Break is coming out soon.
What is it?
Sequence Break.
What's that?
It's a new Shudder exclusive. Grant Skipper, who do you remember watching Mind's Eye and Almost Human? The Jeff Bezos films.
I guess
so.
Okay. Well, anyways, Graham Skipper. He's it's his he's calling it his directorial debut, but yeah, it's his new big movie, and it's kind of like Cronenberg meets Stuart Gordon type shit, but like with an arcade system.
Their ideas are always so good. The idea of Almost Human is so good. I enjoy it for the most part. The idea of Mind's Eye is so good, but it's just I don't like Mind's something's
Eye,
missing.
But I really do like Almost Human quite a bit.
But
anyways, Graham Skipper's a different animal. I mean, he's just the actor in those movies, but like this is he's directing, wrote and directed this. So yeah, his movie comes out in a couple weeks. So, and they just released Downrange, which I cannot get behind whatsoever.
Okay. Stephanie, were you trying to say something? I'm sorry. Brad and I just kept rambling. I apologize.
No, I was just muttering to myself insanely. I'm good.
Okay. All right. All right. Moving along. Anything else to say about Mon 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 Monsters other than...
No.
Give it a watch, everybody. Give it a watch. All right, let's move into our feature presentation. The sequel to one of the best films of 1987, 1990s, not The Gate 2, but Gate 2, Return to the Nightmare, otherwise known as The Gate 2, Trespassers.
The first time was just a warning. Gate 2.
The problem wasn't that we opened the gate. The problem was that we didn't do it right. Demonology.
Evil against evil.
Interdimensional contact with beings whose power can be used for anything you want. Anything.
Stay inside the circle! It's working!
This time, it's not coming through your backyard.
Get up! Ah! Oh my God!
This time, it comes through you. Gate 2. Return to the nightmare.
This is the main feature? Okay.
This was directed by the director of The Gate, Tibor Takacs. Takacs? How do you pronounce that, anybody? It's a Hungarian name. I'm not doing very well pronouncing this.
Tic Tacs.
TT.
Okay. TT. Oh man, here we go. So this is a direct sequel to The Gate, and are you there? Is everybody there? Are we okay?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Brad, are you there?
Yeah.
I heard their microphone moving around. Louis Tripp returns as Terrence Chandler, and he was like the neighbor in The Gate, right? He was like
he's the black metal guy.
Yeah, that badass heavy metal room.
Yeah. So this show opens up with him. All right, the other house, the house of his friends or whatever, is basically abandoned. He is, I guess, doing seances by himself to try to reopen this evil portal, and a few kind of punks kind of interrupt him at one point, and the portal does open, leaving one of the little creatures.
So I've never been able to watch The Gate the same again after this. So I got to see The Gate on 35 at Fantastic Fest back in September. And the wonderful and amazing and hilarious and good friend of mine, Zach Carlson, hosted it.
Thank you.
If you don't know who Zach Carlson is, and y'all can just give
everyone knows who Zach Carlson is.
Of course.
Who's that? What's up?
Fucking great.
He's talking about cool Austin people.
He's just talking about how awesome this movie is, and it still holds up, and it's a lot of fun, and it's like a kid's movie, but it has some really hard shit in it, for a kid's movie. But he said something, and before I say how the reaction happened, I'll say what he said. He said Louis Tripp, okay, the little kid in the movie, Steven Dorff's, we were just talking about him. What's his name? Terry?
Terrence.
Yeah, Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
Terry.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, Louis Tripp has the smallest mouth that a human being can have. Like, the kid can barely open his mouth. Like, so he said that. I just started laughing. But then when you watch the movie and you just completely focus on this kid's ridiculously small mouth, and it's true. He has the smallest mouth I've ever seen on anybody. And it's hard to watch The Gate now without focusing on this dude's little mutant mouth.
Oh, God.
So, I haven't seen The Gate 2 in years. It was one of those things where I saw The Gate and I fucking loved it. And, I left it at that. And then I was doing some searching one night. I was very young, probably, like 13 or something like that, when I was scouring fucking eBay for movies. And there's two movies that always popped up. The Gates of Hell Part 2, which still people don't watch. But yeah, they made a sequel to Gates of Hell Part, Fulci's Gates of Hell. And then they made The Gate 2, which both of these movies, they would pop up, and they were so expensive on VHS. And when I found out there was a Gate 2 and a Gates of Hell 2, I fucking flipped out. I was like, oh my God, I have to see these movies. These are going to be fucking fantastic. So I saved up allowance to buy the fucking Gate 2. And, at the time it was $10 or something like that on VHS, which was ridiculous at that point in time because tapes were just so cheap. When I was buying them off eBay, it was fucking, $20 for a lot of 100. No one fucking cared. Now fucking Ghostbusters on VHS is going for $50. It's stupid. So, I bought The Gate 2, and I spent a lot of money on it. And I fucking hated it. I was so mad. And years later, I gave it another shot, pulled out the tape again, and I still wasn't into it. But I did research it, and apparently, I was reading this article where it was an interview with the. Is there any interviews with the director?
Yeah.
On the. Does he talk about how it was such a chore to get the film done? Apparently there was a bunch of production problems.
Yeah, they're pretty open about everything.
Yeah, and it's
pragmatic Canadians.
Well, they got it because they filmed it like right after the gate. Like,
yeah, he did say it.
And then it didn't get released until like 5 years later. And they just had all these production problems, and the movie did very well as a sequel in theaters. Like it went to theaters in the 90s, and it did fairly well for a horror film. But no one really like talked about it after that. He was really surprised that people would remember like 5 years later this movie, and it's just not a cash grab, but he meant to like release them back to back, you know, like one summer this, one summer that. And apparently there were so many issues with the film. I can't remember if it was sound or something like that, and they just had a lot of issues production wise. And it was just I can't remember what he said the movie made at the theater. I'm sure you could probably look it up on Box Office Mojo, but it was like quite a bit of money, like, you know, within like a few $1 million, you know, maybe like 3-4 million. I can't remember, but you know, I was like, that wasn't a direct-to-video movie. That's insane. What did you look it up, Sean?
I did. What? It's 2 million.
2 million?
But he did talk about on the interview that they thought they had a small budget on the gate. It was gigantic compared to what they got cut down to. He basically said, you know, instead of seeing the gate and saying, wow, look at what these guys can do with the small budget, let's give them some more money, they said, hey, look what they can do with a small budget. Maybe they can do something decent with even less. So I think just comparatively, it made a lot of money.
But that's crazy that the movie made $2 million. Like, I mean, and we got to think this is like in the 90s. I mean, we're not talking about like 4,000 screens either. You know, we're talking probably like under maybe 500.
It opened up in 350 theaters.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy.
I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, that's insane. So, I mean, the interview went into it was some like mega fan, which I didn't know existed for this movie. But it was years ago. It was just really interesting. I wondered if they put it out if he was talking about it, just because it was really interesting, the history of the movie and kind of like all the hiccups that hit, but still the movie was successful at the end of the day, as far as money wise, and then it just fell off the face of the earth. So,
yeah, it's the plot too is very monkey's paw, where they kind of get, you know, this little minion grants them their wishes, but the wishes don't really go as they hoped they would go.
That was what I liked best in the movie. Like when they go to the fancy restaurant and live it up. That was my favorite scene.
Yeah. Stephanie, overall, what did you think of the film?
I love the gate. I love the gate. This one, it's fine. It's like especially for like the money they had, there are imaginative things in it. There are fun moments, definitely. I thought the ending was adorable, kind of. Just kind of like that. The ending felt like it was from a kid's movie, strangely. But it just didn't have that magic spark the first one had for me. I think maybe the chemistry between that group of friends in the first one made everything else seem even better, and there wasn't anything like that in this. There were 2 great lines in it though, and I wrote them down because I liked them so much. So they're kind of picking on Terry, and they're like, oh, what are you doing, like Satan shit? And he's like, demonology, Satanism is for pussies. That was and
wait, it's at the end of the movie, right? Because they say something really corny.
Well, at the end they say
that's when
at the end they say, who needs chicks when you have demons?
I'm gonna put that as like the signature on my emails at work.
That's a great idea.
Wait, was that the second one, Stephanie, or did you actually have something else?
What?
Like that was the second quote.
Oh, that was the second quote. Yeah, I remember. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I remember laughing at the end of the movie because there was something funny that was said. Okay, so that's it. What is it again?
That's the craziest thing.
Who needs chicks when you have demons?
God, it's so good. How is that not?
I mean, really.
Well, I like demonology. Satanism is for pussies too, especially the way he delivers that with the conviction.
With a small mouth.
Yeah. No, I love like there's some a few.
I'm sorry, he has like prosthetic teeth for a scene in this, and now I'm like thinking of this poor kid with his tiny mouth.
Probably couldn't get him in there. They had to like surgically remove them to get them in. It's like, hey, Lewis, can you put these back in your mouth? Oh, man. Like, everything's a whisper.
4 hours.
Yeah, everything's a whisper for him because he can't open his mouth. It's like they have to dub over him. They have to dub over everything with him for another actor because he can't open his
mouth. Just making up mean shit about this.
Oh, man. What an asshole Brad's being. What I was going to say was, before I was really interrupted by Stephanie. I was kidding.
I get a few.
But I always love like seances and demonic rituals in movies, and I love his like setup when you first get in there. Is he in a warehouse or is he at that broken down house next door?
Yeah, he like breaks into an old house in his neighborhood.
Yeah. And he has it all set up with his like microphone and everything, and I love when he's interrupted. Like that scene's great. But yeah, then it kind of goes to it's kind of a little bit of a slog for all. Then you go into like the monkey's paw stuff, and then the ending. But yeah, I think there's like little like nuggets of fun in here.
Yeah,
it's only 90 minutes,
nuggets,
so
because the quality stuff are the poop jokes.
Yeah. It's only an hour and a half, but I think they could probably even edit out like 15 minutes. You get a good hour and 15 film in there. Or a good 70 minutes maybe. But yeah, if you're curious, I would recommend Gate 2 or The Gate 2 or whatever. But Brad, are you there?
Yeah, no, I'm
Oh, I kept hearing rustling around. I don't know what's going on.
Jesus, man, don't yell at me.
Sorry, apologize. I'm getting amped up talking about The Gate 2.
Scream Factory gets his ire up.
But I'm glad this one's out. I know a lot of collectors were waiting on this one. But I don't know. If it's don't expect the first Gate, that's for sure. But I think what you said, like the first the Gate, the chemistry of the characters, and like if you when you were that age, like you would like we would seeing like a hole open up in the backyard, like you can kind of think about that as a kid if you're watching that. So like that kind of I guess aspect of that film, I guess, brings you into the characters a little more and kind of the whole scenario. This one, like just like a minion for a majority of the film, who's kind of this granting wishes. I was a little disappointed when it was just a minion. I was like, oh, they're going there? It's just him? Okay, they kidnapped the minion. Okay, so there's like and then I don't know. I was a little disappointed. But now when you bring up the budget and everything, it makes so much sense. But as an oddity, I guess I had a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah, maybe. I'll watch it again eventually. I've only seen it twice and it's been years, so
yeah,
maybe I'll give it a shot.
All right. Any closing remarks about The Gate 2 before we close down the podcast today?
Who needs a closing remark when you have demons?
Exactly. All right. I want to thank everyone for listening. Stephanie, you have some writing on the internet. That's kind of, I don't know, kind of a big deal. What's going on with you and that little website that you posted that Tales from the Crypt article on?
Oh, I don't do anything that's a big deal except for this podcast, of course.
Bullshit. Where is your Tales from the Crypt article? Because it is what they call a banger.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a new column. It's coming out 2 Tuesdays a month on Dread Central. And I'm just revisiting the series by looking at everyone who worked on each episode behind the scenes. And I'm saying, do they have a horror background? Do they not have a horror background? And how the episode came out with all that in mind. Nice.
Very nice. So everyone make sure you're following Stephanie, which is Scrawfish on the Twitters. And don't miss those writings because they're fantastic. Brad's doing a bunch of super secret bullshit that he can't talk about. Yeah, I guess follow him on at Brad F. Henderson, I guess.
Yeah, I'll say something soon. It'll be exciting.
Okay.
So
all right, fine.
Because technically I could say something right now,
anticipation.
I think.
But was his attitude that? Because I'll apologize for him.
What?
Were you going to say what it is, but Sean had a bad attitude about it? Because I'll apologize for Sean, so you saying.
No. I said I could probably say what it is now, but I just, I don't like to say anything until something's like official.
All right. Well, we will wait with bated breath. Head over to the Screamcast.com. Listen to past episodes. You can also hear episodes of Xenopod from the year 5000, which is my science fiction podcast. You can also hear the Sov Pod, which is Brad and Mike Delaney and other guests. Maybe their Shot on Video podcast. That's going down there. If you'd like to support the show, you can buy merchandise by clicking on the store link. It'll take you to the Screaming Pods store. Club Scum members get a 25% discount. Speaking of Club Scum, click on the Club Scum link. It's super cheap. Become a member of Club Scum. You'll get a lot of surprise little freebies and little insights to things. Someday we'll do some bonus podcasting. We've all been so busy. And we thank all of you guys for joining Club Scum and waiting around for that. I should be doing an episode of Sean's Stack this weekend as my schedule is kind of clearing out. And so look forward to that very soon. Also, there's a little link on the Screamcast.com that says Screaming Threads, and that is a bunch of pins that we had made, and Brad is desperately trying to get rid of, so click on Screaming Threads and buy some pins from Brad.
Yes.
Yes?
Is the Suspiria one sold out? That's a lot of S's. Oh, I love that pin. I get a lot of compliments on that one, everybody.
Very nice.
Just letting you know.
Get that Suspiria pin. I can't talk. Spin. I go through puberty. Get that Suspiria. Get that Suspiria pin.
There you go.
Over it. All right. There's drop us a line if you have any questions, comments, any bullshit about the show. Also, want to thank our sponsors. Make sure you're heading over to grindhousevideo.com when you're searching for the perfect 70s, 80s, or 90s Grindhouse classic horror whatever film. Carries all the amazing labels: Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, Scream Factory, Severin. The list goes on. I know Mike just had a sale over there, and he's made some great prices on a handful of things. So make sure you're checking out grindhousevideo.com.
I was just there. You know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went last weekend. I picked up, let's see what I picked up. I picked up The Big Bad Mama. The apparently Shout Factory released that on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
Picked up The Boneyard. New Code Red title. I picked up Macon County Line.
They have Code Red in the store?
Yeah.
That's
cool. Wow.
And
he's probably making zero profit on that because he's probably buying them directly from
cheap.
Code Red.
Like this was $20. And I got I heard people compare it to Barbarian Sound Studio in that Toby, I can't remember his last name, but it's called Kaleidoscope. Apparently it's kind of like a weird Euro horror type thing. So kind of Toby Jones, I think is his name.
Yeah, Toby Jones.
If you haven't seen Barbarian Sound Studio, then you haven't lived.
I'm working on it. I need to watch it. I've had
like
the Blu-ray for like a year. If you love coffee, make sure you're checking out Coffee Shop of Horrors. Use the code Screamcast to get 10% off of your order. Their coffee's yummy. I drink it every day.
Maybe I'll just tell Stephanie to watch stuff because she actually watches it when you tell her.
I know.
Like, hey, this is cool. Have you seen Barbarian Sound Studio, Stephanie?
Mm-mm.
I think you would like it. It's a giallo, but it's actually a guy that's scoring a giallo film, and it's about his. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
I'll watch it soon, Brad. I promise.
Well, I've told you about it for years. I don't think it's going to happen. So,
big thank you. Can I continue? Because it's taking way too long. Big thank you to Wolfmen of Mars for letting us use their music in our podcast, as well as they created the intro, so they're a badass. Check them out over at their Bandcamp, wolfmenofmars.bandcamp.com. Huge thank you to Kevin Spencer for designing our look. We will be back next time talking about Vinegar Syndrome titles. It's gonna be a couple weeks probably because I still got to start watching these. We got to kind of get through these. So it's gonna be a little bit. You're gonna have a little bit of a break, but believe me, it's gonna be worth it. I believe Brandon from Vinegar Syndrome is gonna be joining me for a little bit. So keep a lookout for that. Also, check out all the other shows over at screamingpods.com. Especially, please listen to Tom Nix's new podcast, Wrestling is Everything. It is fucking amazing. That guy is a guru, and it's fantastic. All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you guys for listening. Bye-bye.
Oh, don't tell me you're leaving. The party's just begun.